When I was a young girl, scarcely 16, thanks to my parents, lots of places I've seen, but never a place that I love as well as my Virgil home 'neath the maiden hill. My Virgil home, that heaven of mine, the home of my parents, so loving and kind. I love them so, and I always will. And my Virgil home 'neath the maiden hill. The harbor's so pretty in the morning sunshine, as the seabirds and robins their sweet notes entwine. The fishing goes shiny in the water so still, here in my home 'neath the maiden hill. When I had trouble or if I was sad, I always found comfort from good friends I had. They knew that I loved them and I always will. And my Virgil home 'neath the maiden hill. My Virgil home, that heaven of mine, the home of my parents, so loving and kind. I love them so, and I always will. And my Virgil home 'neath the maiden hill. With our fishery failing, I may have to roam. Dear God, how I'd hate to leave my dear home, but each night in memory, sure I'll see it still. My Virgil home 'neath the maiden hill. My Virgil home, that heaven of mine, the home of my parents, so loving and kind. I love them so, and I always will. And my Virgil home 'neath the maiden hill.
Good evening. Welcome to This Week in Review. Tonight's stories include representatives from the Bright Sites Youth Committee visited Oak Brook. We have the winning posters in the Drug Awareness Contest. Interview regarding the upcoming Sand and Sea Festival Matthew visit. Update from the Industrial Adjustment Service Committee. These stories and more coming up after these words from tonight's sponsor.
Hello, 'tis I again, back to tell you about Bessie and how much she likes that custom car place. We was walking up the road t'other day when she stopped right dead in her tracks. Bessie, I said, what's wrong? Is your rheumatism bothering you again? Mo, she said, look up there. Well, I looked up, and looming up so pretty as a picture was custom carpet. My son just painted the prettiest blue I ever set me two peepers on, and trimmed with canary yellow. My dear, looks some nice, but then with all the hundreds of paints of colors you got up there to choose from, what would you expect?
4 representatives from the Bright Sites Youth Committee traveled to the Oak Brook Gold Mine on Thursday of this past week. The Bright Sites Youth Committee toured some portable buildings at Oak Brook that are no longer used by Royal Oak, the mine operators. The mine itself is scheduled to close during the summer of 1997, probably around the end of August. After that time, the operation will be dismantled and moved to another site in Ontario. There are pool tables, a snooker table, shuffleboard, ping pong tables, televisions, a stereo system, and a fitness center with exercise bikes, weights, etc. These items will probably be put up on tenders after Oak Brook closes. During our visit to Oak Brook, I had an opportunity to view the workers' quarters as well.
Well, okay, now all the rooms are alike. Okay? So what you've got is, you've got a room that has a washroom with a stand-up shower.
Yes.
And every shower has its own water tank. Every bathroom has its own water tank, so you don't have any pressure problems and you don't run out of hot water. You've got 2 closets, because this is a 2 week in, 2 week out. So this would be your closet, this would be my closet.
Yeah.
Okay? If you look over here at the chest of drawers, you got a lock on both ends. So again, this would be your side, that would be my side, right? We've got television, cable television set up here, and we bring in the television off of the dishes. So we've got 2 movie channels, a sports channel, CBC, and 3 American channels that we bring in here. And then here I've got a lounge area. Now there's only superintendents at this. If we want to have a meeting or a place to relax or play cards in the night or on the weekend, you just want to have your breakfast in here or whatever instead of going down, you know, you can do that. Occasionally bring your family in.
The Bright Sites Youth Committee would like to thank Constable McAlpine of the local RCMP for arranging the trip, and the crew of the Coast Guard cutter W.G. George stationed here in Burgeo for taking them to and from Hope Brook. Last week we mentioned the poster contest held at A.J. Matthews School by the Department of Social Services and the local RCMP as part of Drug Awareness Week. This week we have the winners of the poster contest as well as a short story contest and a poem contest held at the school. All the posters at A.J. Matthews School were very well done. This poster by Monica Patriquin, a grade 3 student, was the winning poster for the primary section, grades kindergarten through 3. Honorable mention was also given to this poster by Victoria Piercy, a grade 2 student, and this poster by Jonathan Green from grade 1. In the elementary section, grades 4 to 6, this poster by Ashley Lushman was chosen as the winner, with honorable mention going to this poster by Karen Pink, a grade 6 student, this poster by Belinda Vatcher of grade 5, and this poster also from grade 5, which was done by Danielle Short. In addition to the poster contest, the school also sponsored a short story contest and a poem contest. The short story contest was won by Matthew O'Keefe.
Drug Awareness Week. Smoking is bad for you. It is full of nicotine and it hurts your lungs. Some drugs are good for you. It keeps you from dying. But most drugs are bad. Small kids are not allowed to smoke or drink because it is bad. Because it is illegal.
In the poem contest, the winner was Robbie Warren.
My name is called Drinking. These were drunk. I ran into another car. I was in an accident. Neck broke. Killed in the car. No person killed. A gathering of people.
Honorable mention in the poem contest also went to Krista Ingram and Cora Durnford for their poem,
Steroids, they are bad. They make you happy and leave you sad. If you smoke, you're a fool. They can make you drop out of school.
Beer and whiskey are all the same. They make you lose control and give you all the blame.
Don't do dope. It will ruin your health and it will take away all of your wealth. Please listen to our poem because it is true. If you drink or smoke, this will happen to you.
Honorable mention also went to Donna Sims and Jennifer Hand.
Dope is harmful, dope is wrong. It can make you happy, but not for so long.
You don't know what you do, you don't know what you say. Once you get addicted, you want it every day.
If you try it, you are weird. Please don't try a beer. You could get loaded and go nuts. Beat out a window or blow off a bus.
Alcohol is very bad. Alcohol can make you sick. Alcohol can make you lie, put you in jail, or make you cry.
Crack and pot can make you sick, get you doped up very quick. Everything I say here is wrong. If you don't believe me, something is going on.
The winning students from the various contests received prizes donated by the RCMP and Department of Social Services. They also donated prizes to the posters that received honorable mention. The school donated prizes to the students who received honorable mention for their poems. There have been quite a number of changes made at Sandbanks Provincial Park since the park closed earlier this fall. The playground was removed in September. That area was leveled up. A border was put around the new play area. Most of the equipment has since been reinstalled in that area, except for the teeter-totters, which will be replaced. Nearby, work is continuing on the comfort station dumping station for the park. Construction on the building is progressing quite nicely. Workers are currently preparing the outside of the building for the siding. The area behind the building has been leveled up and will be hydro-seeded in the spring. Also at the park, there have been further renovations carried out on the walking trails, and new trails have also been constructed. Stay with us. There's more of This Week in Review coming up in just a moment.
T'other night, Bessie and I was sitting down watching the bandwagon, 'cause we loves that. And right at the blue, she said, Mose, you know the people of Burge was lucky. Bess, I said, what you rambling on about? Lucky, what's he talking about? 'Cause she said, we can go up to their custom carpet Tuesday to Saturday and Thursday nights and get our choice of hundreds of colors of paint and paint sheens. They got melamine, kitchen and bath paint, eggshell, and velvet, and that's only a few, my son Wicky 'tis.
This year's Sand and Sea Festival, which will be held from July 14th to the 20th to coincide with the visit of the Matthew, is quickly approaching. I had an interview with co-chairpersons of the Planning Committee of the Sand and Sea Matthew visit. Speaking with me in the studio today, I have two representatives from the Sand and Sea Matthew Visit Committee, Paulette Marsden and Teresa Sims. Welcome to our studio. Teresa, how are preparations coming along for this year's Sand and Sea Festival and Matthew visit?
Well, both committees working together and everything is going great. There's a lot of time and a lot of effort put into it. We had a gentleman come in from the Cabot 500 one day last week. Randy White was his name, and he felt that everything was going really well for Burgeo. And if both committees can pull their weight together, and I think this festival can go off with a bang.
Paulette, how do the number of members on your committee this year compare to last year?
Last year we had 7 on our committee, and this year we got 14.
Okay. The planning for this year's festival and the Matthew visit started with 2 separate committees. Teresa, you mentioned that these 2 committees are now working together. How did that come about?
Well, when the letter came to the town for the Matthew to come and visit, it had to coincide with a festival. So with the council going back with the Sand and Sea festivals going off every summer, well, this is the 3rd year now, that they decided to coincide it with this. So by the Sand and Sea Committee working together with the Matthew Committee, we just combined both.
Seemed like the logical thing to do, really.
Exactly.
Yeah, okay. Paulette, what types of events are planned for this year's festival?
Dave, a lot of the same events as we had last year. A few things extra. This year there'll be 2 outdoor dances, a lobster boil, fireworks. Anything else, Teresa?
There'll be craft tables at dockside, local music, different entertainers there.
Okay, so a lot of things this year will be going ahead at the dockside as opposed to the park. And the dockside is going to be at the Sea Freeze Wharf, I understand?
Exactly.
That's right.
Okay, what type of response have you had from local organizations and businesses, Teresa?
Really, our response is really good. We've got, I'd say, 1 from every organization sitting in on the whole committee, and they will be doing different things like fish suppers and flea markets and dances, lobster boils, like we already said, and it's going on really well with the organizations.
So they're all playing some sort of a role in the festival?
Yes.
And they're helping with the planning as well?
Yes.
Okay, well that's great. Paulette, are you expecting a large turnout for this summer's festivities?
Most definitely, Dave. With the Matthew Salon, we figures we'll double the tourists we had here last year.
Okay, and understand that there is a letter explaining the festivities as well as a response card done up that would be available if people wanted to send it to friends or relatives or whatever?
Yes, there is. You can pick it up at the BBS or Town Hall. Anybody who's sending Christmas cards and like to put this little invitation in, feel free to pick one out at either of those places.
On this invitation now is the events, some of the events that's taken place, the timings and things like that, right?
Okay. Is there anything else that either of you would like to add?
If somebody is out there with a little more spare room, or would like to have shower facilities or laundry facilities, if they would contact some member of the committee and make us aware of it.
Okay, because if you're inviting these number of people here, you sort of
That's
got to
right.
have some sort of arrangements made for a place if they
Exactly.
need a place, I guess. Okay, well, we'd like to thank you both for coming in and speaking with us today.
Thank you, Dave.
The Industrial Adjustment Service Committee are proving to be a great asset to our community. 4 representatives from the IAS Committee stopped by our studio this past week to bring us up to date on what they've been doing. Speaking with me in the studio today, I have 4 members of the Industrial Adjustment Service Committee: Alistair Hand, Owen Marsden, Ann Parsons, and Bob Hutchings. Welcome to our studio.
Glad to be here.
First of all, Bob, this is only a small portion of the IAS Committee. Can you tell us how many people are actually on the committee?
Sure, Dave. Well, in fact, there's somewhere around 25. It keeps changing, and somewhere around 25 people representing various groups within the community. And I think we're still open to recruiting a few more members. But it'll be in that, when including resource people, it can be at any given meeting, it can be as high as 30 people. That's in the IAS committee as a whole.
Okay, each member of the IAS committee is there sort of for a different reason. Can each of you tell us what your role is on the IAS committee?
I'm on the IAS committee, Dave. I'm the representative for the zone. That's a long-range rig board zone, and therefore that's the reason that I'm on the IAS committee.
I represent Penguin Area Development Association.
And I was invited to sit down there to represent businesses in the area.
And of course, I'm the chairperson, and I've been hired. I'm one of the 2 paid staff, myself and Tracy McDonald is the secretary. And my role, I guess, is to plan and call and chair the meetings, and to provide guidance to the IAS committee. And I guess if I could just add a note there, we recognized early on when a group of 25 or 30, that's a fair-sized group, and it's probably a little cumbersome to break, to have that number in a group for working purposes. So what we've done as a committee, we have broken down some of the objectives that have been set. We have broken out into 4 subcommittees, okay? And those subcommittees are, there's a community profile committee, there's an aquaculture committee, strategic planning committee, and a youth committee. And each of those subcommittees have approximately 6 people on them. And here today we have, these 3 people represent 3 of the 4 subcommittees. And unfortunately, the 4th subcommittee, the youth committee, that person was unable to attend this morning. So each subcommittee has terms of reference to try and work on different things and issues related to Burgeo.
Okay, Ann, you're on the subcommittee for community profile, and I understand that your committee is doing just that, trying to do a community profile. Can you tell us the purpose of the questionnaire?
Okay, Dave, one of our objectives that we identified early on in the committee, in the subcommittee, and was that we would like to do exactly that, a community profile, like what is it we have in Burgeo as relating to the labor force. So we're doing a short questionnaire, well, as you've seen on Channel 10, some of the questions and what have you, but all we want to do basically is to identify the number of people that we have in our community, for example, specific number of carpenters, specific number of nurses, teachers, and what have you, so that, and compile it together in a little booklet similar to this. So this is the one that we thought, this one is Grand Falls, Windsor, so that when anybody comes into our town or wants some information, that we can say, all right, this is Burgeo and this is what we have, and it'd be done sort of similar to this. And as a result of this, that we've got the Bright Sites Youth Committee, and the graduation class of 97 is going to be going door to door starting the week of December the 1st to the 7th, and it's all going to be done within that 1 week. And we'd like everybody's participation in filling out the forms, and the students are going to be doing the forms, so they won't be left with the individual household. So it'll be very quick, and it won't take very many minutes of anybody's time. So, but it's very important that we get this information together to put in a community profile.
Okay, I understand that your subcommittee are also looking at the possibility of restarting the Chamber of Commerce here in Burgeo.
Yeah, that's another one of our little objectives as well. And well, in the next little while too, we got some information now that we're reading up on a Chamber of Commerce, and Tracy McDonald is going to be polling all businesses in the community. Right now there's approximately 41 businesses, and everybody's out doing their own thing. And we just feel that it might be, or we'd like to do a little survey or a poll, of just a telephone survey of all of the businesses in the area, and see if they would be interested in restarting a Chamber of Commerce. There was one a few years ago, and well, I don't know, we just need to probably iron out the reasons why that one didn't work, and we just feel that it might be beneficial to our community to have one.
Okay, Alistair, you're on the subcommittee for strategic planning. I understand that your committee are planning 2 roundtable discussions. Can you tell us the purpose of those discussions?
Yeah, well, one of the objectives of our committee, Dave, was to do a SWOT analysis. That's SWOT, which stands for strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats of our community. So we're going to do an analysis and see just what Burgeo does have in that way. So we're planning 2 roundtables in December. 20 people will be invited to each roundtable, and we hope to identify some of these things during those roundtables. We're going to invite the people to those roundtables, and if anyone is out there who would like an invitation or know someone that they think should be invited, I'd like for them to contact either Bruce Thatcher, Robert Sims, or myself, and we'll arrange to get them an invitation. After we've done the 2 roundtables in January, we hope to have a community session on Burgeo broadcasting, whereby we can present to the people of Burgeo what we came up with in our roundtables, and also solicit some more suggestions and find out what the people thinks of what we did decide at our roundtables.
Okay, so do you have any specific topics for the roundtables, or?
Well, it's fairly open right now, and Gilbert, I don't know if I forget his name. Bruce Gilbert and Tom Hutchings will be facilitating those roundtables, and Bob here will be sitting in on the panel discussion. But we'll be dealing with Burgeo in general.
Okay.
If I could just add a point there, like in terms of a SWOT analysis, that's an integral part of doing a strategic plan. Okay, it's just one component. So you have to look at the strengths of the community and the opportunities, any weaknesses and any constraints. So this forms part and parcel then of the strategic plan. So it's one portion of that, but it's a very important part. And that's mainly what those 2 roundtables will be doing. It'll give the public an opportunity to have some input, both at that as well as the live broadcast we'll be planning for January.
Okay. Owen, I understand that you're on the subcommittee for aquaculture. Mm-hmm. I understand your committee is trying to bring together reports on aquaculture from this area?
Yep, we're in the preliminary stages of the aquaculture section of the IAS, and that's basically what we're up to now. I think Penguin Area Development Association has got some reports. There may be others in the community we're not aware of. If anybody got information that we could use in aquaculture, water analysis, or anything else that we could use, we'd welcome that information. But that's basically what we're trying to do now. There's myself, Brian Porter, William Closier, and Henry or Kitchener Skinner resource people. So they can contact any of them. Plus, if there's somebody out there that needs some help in aquaculture, would like to get a cod farm or anything else started, we'll do our best. We'll be there to for support, and we do have some numbers and things we can help them with.
Okay, I understand you're also planning a workshop to be held at a later date?
As soon as we can gather enough information and present to Sean Robinson in the Fisheries Department what exactly we'd like to see offered here in terms of information, then yeah, that's the next step.
Okay. Bob, I understand that representatives from the IAS committee attended a meeting with the Bright Sites Youth Committee, Burgeo Recreation Commission, and the Town Council regarding the arena and the youth centre. How does the IAS committee feel with respect to those proposals?
Yes. Well, that's true. We had that meeting, well, a couple of days ago, but basically, I think, the youth committee are very anxious to get a youth center going, and certainly we support their efforts. However, what's happening is, I think they want it, like, they've got a time frame established, somewhere around 6 months. I think it came out in the meeting yesterday. And we also, in the community, trying to get an arena going. And we looked at some issues in terms of adding the youth center to the arena. And the town had invited in the engineering firm from Corner Brook, and they put some cost figures together. I think it was $1.57 million to put up that complex. And giving that, that figure, it's probably prohibitive to look at doing that. So what it looks like now is where the town recreational committee, and the IS is working with the town certainly, in terms of seeing other ways we may be able to tackle this issue in terms of getting an arena here. But in the meantime, I think what came out of the meeting was the youth were advised that in the short term, maybe they could look at renting some facilities around town to host different events, whether it be a school dance or playing certain games or whatever the case may be, and give it a little more time to see where the arena is going first and foremost. Because I don't know if we want to see like 2 building funds going on at the same time. I think that would add some confusion there. But if indeed we can get the arena, and there are some positive things happening there, and there's still negotiations going on, so hopefully we can report something positive in a little while on that, then maybe at that point in time we can look at adding the youth center, okay, to that. But I think the consensus was in the meeting yesterday that the youth should possibly, and they agreed to do that certainly, and after our meeting they were going to deliberate further on it, is to look at, as I say, renting out other facilities, that sort of thing. So at least they have something happening right away. So, these are two very important issues. The arena is very important from the community as a whole, from a social aspect, to draw the community together. But from an IAS perspective, we also see it as being very important from possibly a tourism perspective in attracting different events to the community, which of course is going to generate some economic wealth and so on. So time will tell. These are hot topics in the community right now, and they are being worked on behind the scenes. But at this point in time, that's basically where it stands.
Okay, we've touched on a number of issues today that were brought up in IAS meetings, but I don't really think you can have a meeting of the nature you're having without having some discussion about the fish plant here in town. So have you had any discussions about that?
Yes, very much so. One of our objectives is to hopefully see the fish plant reopened. All I can say is at this point in time that the union and the company with Sea Freeze are actively negotiating a collective agreement. And as an IAS committee, we obviously can't get involved in that process. That's strictly between the union and the company. But from all reports that we're getting, there seems to be, the will is there from both sides to get the plant open as soon as possible. And as we speak, I understand that negotiations are going on, and all reports are things are positive, but they haven't finalized the deal. And we've got our fingers crossed, I guess, that things will work itself through, and we'll have some positive news in the very near future. So as soon as we know more on that, we certainly will communicate that to the residents of Burgeo.
Okay, is there anything else that either of you would like to add?
Well, one thing I'd like to just add in there, we mentioned early on that there were 4 subcommittees, and one subcommittee that hasn't been talked about is indeed a youth subcommittee. And Jonathan Benoit is the spokesperson for that particular subcommittee. Fortunately, Jonathan couldn't make it here this morning due to other commitments. But the youth center is certainly one issue, and there are other issues that that subcommittee is looking at. But one item in particular that I would throw out to the public is that they are trying to recruit more members for that subcommittee. I believe there's 3 on that subcommittee right now, and they would like to have 3 more members. And that doesn't necessarily have to be youth. If there's some adults out there would like to feel that they would like to be on that subcommittee, I would ask that they contact certainly Jonathan Benoit or Milton Batcher, or of course Owen Marsden. And like I say, we would welcome at least 3 more members to sit and work on that committee on the issues that relate to youth here in the town of Burgeo.
Okay, Ann?
Well, our committee, like I just mentioned, was community profile and Chamber of Commerce, but I mean, that's the little ones that we've picked that we're working on immediately right now. But in the very near future, we're also going to be doing some entrepreneurship seminars and workshops in the community. And tourism is going to be a big section as well. So we're trying to get the littler ones, although none of them are little, but we're trying to get those off the ground for starters, and then we're going to get into the tourism one and work diligently on that project in the next little while after Christmas.
Okay, Owen?
We're still in the preliminary stages with both youth and aquaculture. We just want to let people know that, you know, we are in that process of trying to recruit information, that sort of thing. So anybody got any information out there, we welcome whatever they have, you know.
Okay, and Alistair?
Yes, Dave. Our main objective, the overall objective of the strategic planning subcommittee, is to develop a 5-year strategic plan that's economic development plan for Burgeo. We hope to have that all clued up and finished by March of 1997. That's our aim right now.
Okay, well, we'd like to thank you all for coming in and speaking with us today, and we look forward to further updates from your committee.
Okay, thank you for having us in.
Thank you, Dave.
Stay with us for more of This Week in Review following these words from Custom Carpet Sales.
Mose, I'd like to have some self-stick floor tile to go down in my basement.
Do you think they got any up to custom carpet?
Mose, don't you talk so loose with all hundreds of different colors of carpet and cushion floor they got to choose from up there. You knows they can't self-stick tile.
We went up to see. Good gracious. They got some of the prettiest tiles I ever set me 2 eyes on. Black marble, white with burgundy diamonds, white with green diamonds. That's just to mention a few. And on top, guess what? They got wallpaper and borders to match too.
The following are some of the dogs and cats at the Bay St. George SPCA that need good homes. SPCA's Pets of the Week. This is Dusty. He is 1 year old and has been neutered. He is house trained and loves children. This is Pebbles. She is 1 year old and is a part terrier. Pebbles loves to play ball. She gives her paw and begs. Pebbles is house trained and loves children. Princess is a 1.5-year-old female. She is spayed, has had all her needles, is house trained, and is a great little dog for a couple. Sheba is a small shepherd. She had a litter of puppies since coming to the shelter, one of which is still at the shelter. She is house trained and listens very well. Sam has been at the shelter for 2 years. He was found by the shelter when he was 4 months old. Sam loves to play and is very fond of children. Sam needs someone to play with. This is Sneaky. She is 1.5-year-old female and has had all her needles. Henry is also 1 year old. He is neutered and has had all his needles. Henry is a house cat. Roxy is a 2-year-old female cat. She has also had all her needles. And Whitey is 1 year old. She has also had all her needles. The shelter also has a large number of puppies, ranging from 3 weeks to 5 months. There are 43 dogs and puppies at the shelter, so there are lots to choose from. Come to the shelter and find a friend. The shelter, located at 15 Utah Drive in Stephenville, is open 7 days a week. They can be contacted at 643-2811. The number again is 643-2811. Off the rack. This week as we scanned our tape racks, we came across a video of the Santa Claus parade from 10 years ago. Let's have a look back at some of the floats that were entered in the Lions annual Santa Claus parade for that year. Here's a look back to December 7th, 1986.
We're zooming in on the beginning of the parade here. Virgil Fire Brigade leading off the parade with its fire truck and a whole group of kids on top of the fire truck there. It has its response vehicle trailing along behind. Coming next to those, the Virgil Lioness Club with Mrs. Claus. We had the Virgil Firettes. The Burnett's float this year has a theme of the manger, Joseph and Mary. We had the Virgil Leo Club, the King and the Queen, who we talked to earlier, located in the castle, of course. And then we have the Virgil Hospital float, depicting that Christmas is for children, followed by the clowns. We have E.H. Scott with the wrecker done up in pom-poms and dressed up for Christmas. Here comes the Virgil Lioness Club float with its cake representing its 10th anniversary. And this is the safety patrollers from A.J. Matthews Elementary School. We spoke to them earlier. This is the first year they've been in the parade. And we have the A.J. Matthews Elementary School float itself. And it shows the Christmas scene and all the various activities that the kids are involved with during the winter season. Coming into view now, we have a very colorful float. Season's greetings from Virgil Seafoods. The Virgil Broadcasting float. Merry Christmas, and the Christmas tree lit up there. Lots of kids getting a ride on that one. And finally the marching band, the Royal Canadian Sea Cadet Corps. Bob Bartlett from Virgil, sponsored by the Virgil Lions Club, and they have, of course, their drummer and their glockenspiel, and they're playing Christmas music and tunes as they go along. Marching very triumphantly today. Very cold day, trying to keep warm, I guess. Right behind them there's another float decorated in balloons, representing Snoopy's Christmas. The Sea Cadet float. We have a clown there on a trimoto. Bringing up the rear, of course, is the jolly old man himself, towed this year by the Royal Canadian Mounted Police, Virgil Detachment, and he's waving to the children as he passes along.
BBS Playbill. Tune in on Tuesday at 7 p.m. for a rebroadcast of Pansy's Garden. Then, at 8 p.m., we will have BBS West Viking College tutorial service. Try your luck on Wednesday at 7 p.m. by playing Hockey Mom's TV Bingo. Join us on Thursday at 7 p.m. for a rebroadcast of entertainment from the Burnett's Telethon. This will be followed at 8 p.m. by BBS West Viking College tutorial service. And on Saturday morning, join Marie, Melissa, and Pansy 11 a.m. for Pansy's Garden. And I'll be here again next week with This Week in Review. Next week, we will have draws for more prizes for all those who have their pledges paid for the Burnett's Telethon. There will be someone at the fire hall from 1 to 3:30 p.m. each day collecting pledges. Also on next week's program, we will have highlights from this year's Santa Claus Parade. Please stay tuned now for some entertainment from the Burnett's Telethon. For This Week in Review, I'm Dave Cooper. Good night.